we've become a society of finger pointers, always blaming someone else, right? And I just feel like what's really sitting on me isn't the conflict itself, it's my role in it, our role in it. I saw a tweet that Elon Musk posts on X, right? And he said I can't get my words out, that politicians don't have any real power, they're just puppets. And whilst we suspected that for a while, I think one thing that I really don't like is that we, the public, are helping to fuel the machines.
That is the confession most people refuse to make. We speak about the machine as if though we are standing outside of it. We blame the corporations, we blame the billionaires, we blame the algorithms, we blame the people spreading the vision, and then we wake up every single morning and feed those same systems with our attention, with our outrage, with our insecurity, with our private conversations, our photographs, our desires. We are not merely customers. We are the raw material. But this is not about blaming yourself. Blame is another form of paralysis. This is about recognizing your participation so you can withdraw your unconscious consent. The machine is powerful because millions of people believe their individual attention does not matter. But the entire structure is made from individual attention. Your attention is a vote. Your attention is creative energy. Repeatedly receives it, begins influencing the reality you experience. Subscribe and share this, because the first step in escaping any cage is recognizing which part of you has been helping to keep the door closed.
I'm feeling so bad about myself because I wasn't comparing myself to all the people on Instagram who are living these overly polished lives that aren't actually a real representation of their life. And it just made me feel so much lighter, just only seeing my friends' life updates and moving on about my life in real time instead of constricting myself to this phone in front of me.
That final sentence is the entire subject. Constructing myself to this phone. The feed does not simply entertain you. It doesn't. It presents you with a continuous model of who you should become, how your body should look, what success should resemble, which relationships should make you jealous, which options will earn approval, which fears deserve your attention. Then you begin editing yourself to match the reflection. You call it self-expression. But much of it is self-construction. You are building a version of yourself designed to survive inside the feed. The algorithm watches what holds your attention, then returns more of it. So your existing beliefs are repeated back to you until they feel like objective reality. The frightened person receives more reasons to be frightened. The angry person receives more enemies. The insecure person receives more people with whom to compare themselves. The identity strengthens because the mirror never stops reflecting it. The mirror never stops reflecting it. You're not seeing the world as it is. You are seeing the world organized around the reactions of your current personality.
I hit 10,000 followers on TikTok, so I can't officially monetize myself. I mean, that's going to be probably an extra 3 cents of income every month. I'll take what I can get. But this comes at a much needed time, because when I tell you the vet bills we had to pay recently, because our cat needed to have a tooth pulled, which was great. And then Zilla had happy tail syndrome. We bought 4 happy tail savers, drop it, for him. Didn't end up working. Went through like 2 rounds of meds to try and heal it. Didn't end up working. So we did end up having to amputate his tail, which he's actively healing from right now. Meanwhile, while that's happening, this guy decides to go and get roundworms. So then we have to do another round of meds and have an emergency vet come to our home to see him because he's so anxious that he can't go to a regular vet. He has to have an in-home vet. So when I tell you I am stressed to my financial limit paying for these animals right now.
Listen carefully, because this is where the cage becomes sophisticated. First, the platform trains you to seek attention. Then, it offers to pay you for maintaining the behavior it trained you into. But it rarely pays enough to create true independence. It pays enough to keep hope alive. Enough to make the next post feel necessary. Enough to make you study every view, every comment, and every fluctuation in engagement. And when real financial pressure appears, the relationship changes. You're no longer asking, what do I genuinely want to create? You begin asking, what must I perform so the algorithm continues feeding me. This does not make creators dishonest. No. It reveals the pressure placed upon them. Human need becomes the leash. The cage no longer looks like captivity. It looks like opportunity. There's nothing wrong with making money from your work. Of course not. The danger begins when the platform becomes the authority that decides whether your voice has value. Create through the platform, but never allow the platform to become the source of your identity.
Accounts are going to keep you stuck. Most people carry the same social media account from middle school or high school or college. So you're still connected to people that you haven't seen in a decade. You're still energetically tied to coworkers from your old jobs. And these are people who never truly had your best interest. And this is not harmless. This is a collective agreement you never consciously signed. So collective co-creation, if you don't know how it works, every person you follow and everyone who follows you is co-creating your reality. So you're sharing information, your energy, and your attention, even if you never talk. So when you're connected to people still operating from their ego or drama or jealousy or really low vibrations, you're going to absorb that frequency. And we all know that you don't have to talk to someone to feel their energy. Just seeing their name, their post, or a highlight reel is going to affect your nervous system on a very deep level. So low vibrations are ego-based connections. So old friends from high school are going to trigger old versions of you. Coworkers from your past jobs are going to keep you tied to older identities, older struggles, and older resentment. These connections are built on nostalgia, not alignment. So they're going to keep you small because these people remember you small.
You know, there's something very, very profound here. But let's take it deeper than simply blaming followers for holding us back. Those people may remember the old you, but their memory only has power when it activates your own belief in that identity. You see the name of someone from high school, and without realizing, you become the person you were when you were around them. You see an old coworker, and your body remembers the hierarchy. You see an ex, and an emotional identity that seemed dead suddenly reappears. The account becomes a museum of personalities you once inhabited. But the past is not physically reaching you through the screen and imprisoning you. You are recreating the past in the present through memory, through expectation, through belief. The present is the point of power. Deleting an account can interpret the pattern. Blocking someone can close an unnecessary door. A true freedom comes when their presence can no longer summon an identity you have consciously abandoned. Do not merely remove the old witness. Stop performing the old self.
I'm fine with being perceived as Mr. Blake W, but Blake the person does not want to be highly visible. Like, I don't care for the judgments, I don't care for the secret shade, I don't care for people looking at how many likes I got, how many comments I got, etc. And I know that I'm not wrong for believing this because I was getting a lot of views, but very little likes and very little follower growth on that account. I made a new account from scratch where I didn't know anybody, and I consistently posted on that account, and in less than a year, I just passed 60,000 followers. It's harder to garner that same level of support on a personal account because of all of the components that I just mentioned. Because they're not engaging with your posts because they're hate watching, it's actually slowing your growth down because they're keeping your engagement at an all-time low. And so the algorithm is not pushing your videos out, which is why it stops you from growing. And my DMs look so much different on my personal account than they do on my Mr. Blake W account. On my personal account, I would post about myself and my accomplishments, and people would get upset. You just want to be seen. No, I'm just proud of my craft and what I've accomplished with it.
This distinction may be the healthiest way to use social media, hands down. Listen, your public persona can serve a purpose without becoming your identity. See, the problem is not that you wear a mask. Everybody wears a mask. Every role is kind of a mask. A professional, parent, teacher, artist, creator. Listen, the problem begins when you forget that you are the consciousness wearing the mask. Create a public identity for the work. Give the work a name, give it a voice, allow it to enter the marketplace, but do not place your entire private self inside that identity. You do not owe strangers permanent access to your relationships, to your family, to your wounds. You do not owe them permanent access to every stage of your transformation. A consciously chosen persona is a tool. An unconscious persona becomes a prison. Use the mask, but do not become trapped behind it. The wolf is not uncaged because everyone can see him. The wolf is uncaged because no reflection, no audience, no algorithm possesses the authority to tell him what he is. So, you may not have to delete every account. You may need to simply delete the belief that visibility proves your existence. You may not need to abandon the platform. You may need to stop treating its reactions as evidence of your worth. The real detox is not removing an application from your phone. It's removing the application from your identity. Post consciously. Create deliberately. Protect what is private. Withdraw attention from realities you no longer wish to reinforce. And remember, the algorithm did not discover your permanent identity. It studied your repeated reactions. Change the reactions, and the mirror must eventually change. But before it changes, you must be willing to live without its confirmation. Subscribe, share this with someone who has been confusing their feed with their reality, and step away long enough to ask the only question that actually matters. Who are you when nothing is reflecting you back to yourself? I'm Tony Victory of Wolf Uncaged. Until the next time, peace. If you found something in this video that sparked a thought, shifted your perspective, or just made you feel more grounded, consider showing some love by buying me a coffee. It helps fuel the channel, keeps the uploads coming, and lets me know that the content matters to you. The link's right below in the description or on my channel banner. No pressure, just appreciation if you're moved to support. And as always, thank you for watching, thank you for listening. I am Tony Victory, a Wolf Uncaged. Thank you. Peace.